Way back in 1977, in the small, tight-knit village of Yew Tree Cottage in Poulton, England, 17-year-old Brenda Evans lived with her parents, Harry and Betty Evans, and her older sister, Erin. Now, Brenda was described as quiet and pleasant, and in 1977, she was having a particularly great year. She had just landed a job at the village post office. She was highly regarded by her coworkers and her bosses, and she'd become engaged that same year as well. She'd become engaged to a 20-year-old man named John Pritchard, who was a local farm laborer. He was also quiet, and the two seemed to fit up personality-wise, and they were looking forward to becoming married soon. Now, every day on her lunch break at the post office, Brenda would walk half a mile to her aunt and uncle's home where she would share lunch with them. And on October 7th, 1977, this was no different. On this day, she walked to her aunt and uncle's home like normal, about a 10-minute walk. She ate lunch with them, and she left at about 1:50 p.m. Unfortunately, she would never be seen alive again. Now, when she didn't return to her job at the post office, her boss, Sam Roberts, he was a little thrown off, but he wasn't super concerned, as this was something that happened from time to time. Sometimes some of the workers at the post office would go on lunch break and not come back for the rest of the day. It was not cause for a 4-alarm fire until Brenda's mother made a stop by the post office later that day to see her daughter. And when she learned from Sam Roberts that she had not returned from her lunch break, her mother was extremely concerned. And she actually organized a search party. And the search party included friends and family members, and it even included the mother of Brenda's fiancée, Edith Pritchard, which was John's mom. And during this search, they searched the path, obviously, that Brenda would have taken home from her aunt and uncle's home. And along that walk was a patch of woods. And sadly, inside that patch of woods, Edith Pritchard would find Brenda's body dumped down a 12-foot manhole in the woods. And when she was removed from the manhole, it would be discovered that she had been strangled with her own tights, which were still tied around her neck. She had had a cut on her neck as well as her wrist. And the cut on her wrists were odd because it was almost as if the killer was trying to make it look like she had attempted suicide. But when you commit suicide, you don't typically, fall down a well with tights around your neck, and you're not sexually assaulted, which she was. So this is a very poor attempt, if it was an attempt, to make this look like a suicide by the killer. Police right away zoned in on Brenda's fiance, of course, John Pritchard. And it didn't look good for him because he was actually only a quarter mile away trimming some shrubs at the time of Brenda's murder. So he was right in the area. He was one of the closest people to her, and police would actually bring him in and question him for 27 hours, and it would actually be 4 weeks before he would be released from custody. That being said, he never confessed. He was very forthcoming. His mother was very forthcoming, and his mother was the one who discovered the body. And they were seemingly distraught over this. Some strange stuff happened after this as well. In November of 1977, Edith Pritchard claimed that she saw a man looking through her window in the middle of the night. And when she spotted the man fled from the scene, ran to a car, and sped off from her home. Then a year after that, in 1978, a year after the murder, there was a message found scrawled on a telephone booth near the woods where Brenda's body was found. And it read, "I will strike again." Pretty chilling. It seemed as though the killer was still out there taunting. Sadly, this murder has never been solved. And in 2013, it was reopened as a cold case. But nothing has come of it. There's a quote from the police. "This has been a tough case, but we'll crack it. It's just a matter of time." Now, as we sit here, it's 2022. 1977 was a long time ago. And all you can hope is that DNA solves this case one way or another. I'm not sure what they have in terms of DNA on file, and if they can compare this to people. It seems, though, with the advancements, they would have already done so. You would seemingly try to obtain John Pritchard's DNA, test it against the DNA found inside of her from the sexual assault, and test it against any other suspects that arise. But maybe with genealogy, something along those lines, we'll get closure in this case. But it's not looking good. It's been a long time, and it's an odd case. You'd think the police theorized that it must have been a local suspect, someone that knew the area, knew that patch of woods, and potentially someone that had been stalking Brenda, because there was a very small window of time from the time that she left her aunt and uncle's house to the time that she would have arrived back at the post office. You're talking about a 10-minute window, half a mile, and someone was able to get her into those woods, sexually assault her, and dump her body down that well. So it's a tragic case. Hopefully at some point there's closure. But as for me, that does it for my 5-minute murder episode number 1. Thank you for watching.